Hey, how are you today? I hope you're well. Today I'm going to talk about stress. And I want to say that I'm no expert on stress. I just want to make sure we've got it on our radar. I'm an expert on how it affects me, and it really affects me differently now that I've had my stroke and I've got these sensation issues. And I'm talking about deep stress. My friend turned me on to Hans Selway, Selwe, I believe. And he talks about two distinct kinds of stress. Distress, which is harmful for us, and eustress, EU stress, which is a good kind of stress. It motivates us, it gets us going. And it's good to be able to tell the difference. You know, we deal with stress so many different ways. Before my stroke, I was dealing with it through exercise, chiefly, and through talking with some people. Not often, not every day, probably, and that seemed to be okay. But when the COVID inflammation caught up with me, you know, I stopped exercising, and I stopped talking with people as much because I was a downer. And I don't know, I do believe, and all my practitioners believe, that certain stresses contributed to my stroke. I don't know that. That's what they think. It's hard to prove. But I've been under extreme stress for 8 years, 9 years, something like that. And, you know, I'm a very sunny, positive person. So, and I don't try to hide things. If somebody asks me, I'm very authentic with them. Now look, you know what I'm doing? I'm feeling in my arm where I feel stress. It's very interesting. I have a prior injury here in my arm. It was bad, and I feel stress up my arm, and I feel it in my legs. Ooh. That's how I knew I needed to get help for my anxiety, when I read that anxiety can cause jelly legs, which it was. And I think I had that during the night last night, even though I'm taking medication to prevent that. My stress was so strong last night, and what I was thinking about was bothering me so much. I'm not going to talk about what it is. I'm just going to tell you it's distress, not eustress. So how do we deal with that? We each have to find our own way. You know, I don't know for sure, but I think holding it in is bad for you. I'm guessing. But maybe you discharge it some way. Maybe you find ways to get it out of you. So you don't speak to anyone about it, and you don't talk about the issue, but you're able to discharge it. I don't know if that works for people, because that doesn't work for me. What works for me is talking with people I care about and processing the stress. You know, I talk about him as my spiritual advisor, my friend who is so positive and is able to very adroitly frame things in a positive way. So, and that helps tremendously to have someone like that on your team. And yesterday I talked about getting a team together. And by a team, I don't necessarily mean all practitioners. They could be great friends who help you get through things. I have some of those on my team as well. So I talk about things with my friends, with my therapist. I'm going to see her today. I've got 2 things chiefly to talk about. And that helps me. Doesn't help completely. So I do depend on exercise for some discharge. Now, luckily, I'm at a point where I can exercise more. And we're doing physical therapy, and I hope that continues. I hope I can build upon that without having a crash. I don't know. Last time I built upon it, and end of February I had a crash, and it took me 4 months to figure it out, really. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm being careful with how much I exercise, but I know that helps me. I know it does. You know, writing helps me too. I've been writing poems underneath my tree for a month and a half now. I tell my friends, I can't write them fast enough to dispel all of the stress. So I'm going to have to talk to them a little bit about it. And they're okay with that. They know I'm not gossiping. They know I'm trying to work my way through things. And if you set those kind of parameters with people, so they're not saying, oh, how horrible this person is or how awful this is, but they're helping you process it, that's a good way for me. It might be a good way for you too. So we really have to find our own way through stress. And I encourage you to do so, because long COVID and stress don't mix well, and long COVID and a stroke don't mix well. I said I went to bed last night, my legs started feeling like they did months ago. It was bad. So I've got to dispel that stress. I've got a decision to make, and I've got a timeline on it, and that's good. It's good to have a timeline on it. I'd like a little bit more time, and maybe I'll ask for it, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to encourage you to find healthy ways to release stress. It's meditation, which I do every morning. It's breathing, talking with people, seeing a therapist. I know there are some ways to get them low cost or maybe even free. I will encourage you to do that. But mostly be kind to yourself. You know, the stress, the distress that comes upon you, it's not caused by you usually. I don't know what I'm talking about now. I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm not an expert. All I'm going to tell you is find the ways to deal with stress that work for you. And you know, this is interesting. I was out with my friend yesterday. We got a red drink, and she got a pink drink. I got a red drink. The red drink is a mix of green tea, hibiscus, and cranberry. It's so delicious. And we had water too, and we sat outside on a beautiful patio. And I told her what was going on, and she said, wow, that, you know, you don't need that stress. And I don't, but I have it. So that's a fact. I have it. I have to deal with it. And she said, that's not normal stress. Like, oh, I'm late for my appointment. That's extreme stress. And boy, just hearing her say that made me feel worse about it. And I'm not saying she did anything wrong, but it's interesting. I was dealing with it okay. When she said that, I went, oh my gosh, I gotta handle this. So I am handling it. And I'm gonna get back to a place where I feel more stable, more steady, that I can deal with it through writing and through talking with people and through a little bit of exercise. And I'm just encouraging you to find your way to deal with stress that works. So one day it doesn't pop up in a weird way, in an awful way, in a harmful way. So that's my wish for you today. And if you want to write how you deal with stress, this is what I want to tell you. So after many months, I researched how to enable comments on YouTube. And so now you can leave a comment on these posts or any post that you read earlier. And I really want to encourage you to be kind to me and to others, and to give what works for you if you want to. I know there are plenty of forums to do that, so you may not want to, but you can, because that's open now. And I just encourage you to be kind and to be thoughtful and to share what will help people, what will be insightful. That's what I encourage. Okay, so find your stress relief, do it religiously, and hopefully things will work out. Okay, bye. Blessings. Be well.